Devraj, kindly please switch on your video.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Okay. Right. So let's get back now. I just asked you a couple of questions, like just two, three questions, and you went tongue-tied. The first important thing is that whenever you're going to for your speaking, examiner is not going to understand what your knowledge is. It's basically, it can be true, it can be a made-up story. That's absolutely okay. When I said that, do you enjoy your studies? You should have confidently mentioned that certainly I enjoy my studies, and the major reason is one of the reason is, so you should have given me reason that why you enjoy this particular study, whatever you're studying, right? So now you give me an answer, like if I ask you this question again, try to again give me an answer for this. Do you enjoy your studies?
Yeah, certainly I will say yes. Because in SRM, I had made lots of friends there. Uh, the teachers are very friendly, and
Okay. And mention something about your studies, like what you're studying and how it will help you to have a better future in the long run, or what kind of job opportunities you'll be getting once you complete your studies, right? So when an examiner is asking you a question, you need to give your answer in the sense like you have to mention 3 to 4 lines wherein you get an opportunity to express yourself and tell the examiner that yes, I can speak English and I can pour my heart out. That's important, right? And then I asked you the next question, like, do you think your city is a good city to live, right? So you mentioned about the population, and then you're talking about the temple. You should not give answer like this. If the examiner ends up asking you, like, do you think it is a good city to live, you should say, of course, yes, the city where I'm living is a very good city, and the reason why I'm saying is that the city is a developing city. The authorities are developing every now and then some kind of facilities, in the sense like flyovers are coming up. There are medical facilities, there are educational facilities, there are a lot of colleges and universities, and it's basically the rate of crime is comparatively less, as far as other cities are concerned. See, my answer has volume, my answer has quality, it has content, right? So I talked about the flyovers, I talked about medical facilities, and I said about the educational facilities, like the colleges, universities. So at least you're giving them some answer. I talked about authorities. Now and then, authorities are working on it, the infrastructure is being changed. So it's not important that that has to happen, but yes, you have to create something wherein you can tell the examiner that I can talk and I can express. So the vocab over here will be infrastructure. The vocab again can be basically like you can talk about like the education, but the facilities, talking of colleges, universities, the examiner is even trying to understand your pronunciation, basically, that are you in a good position to pronounce the word right or not. Getting my point,
yes,
right?
ma'am.
So I'm going to ask you some more questions now. Do you like to carry bags?
For colleges,
Yeah, generally, yeah.
generally, yeah, I will carry bags to pack my uh, books or anything which I go long. Uh, the bags will help me to carry a lot of things.
Right. So again, now this answer would basically be just a 5.5 kind of an answer. The examiner is asking you, do you carry bags, right? So you'd say that generally I love to carry a bag because I'm a student and I generally carry a bag wherein I can put my laptop, and the bag should have a couple of compartments so that I can keep all the accessories in it. However, if I'm going out for a party or going to meet my friends, I don't carry bags at that time. Getting my point? So here I mentioned about accessories, and I'm talking about compartment, and I'm talking about the bag that you're carrying. Generally, I carry a bag, right? So the term generally is a nice term. Grammatically, you're trying to tell the examiner that I know, and I know how to show the term like generally, or you can say I frequently carry. I can say that I carry my bag every day because I'm a student. I go to my college and I have to carry my laptop along with it. In fact, some notebooks also. So I do carry a bag, and I make it a point that my bag should have a lot of compartments. See, I'm again repeating my answers so that you understand that how you are supposed to frame your answer. So the examiner is asking for the present time. The examiner might even ask you, do you remember the bag that you carried when you were a child? How would you answer to this?
Pardon me?
If the examiner asks you this question, do you remember the bag that you carried when you were a child? How will you answer?
When I was child, I am carrying bag.
Hmm.
Not getting
Do you remember the bag that you carried when you were a child?
yes.
Try to give an answer for that.
Yeah. Uh, my school is from my hometown to the school is about 20 kilometers. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Something. So,
I can hear you very clearly.
yeah. At the time, I used to get my bag
Uh,
to the school.
uh,
That the color is blue.
yes. Okay. So the examiner is asking, will ask you this question. Do you remember the bag you carried when you were a young boy? So you'll say that I very clearly remember the bag that I carried because that bag was gifted to me by my mother or by my maternal uncle. And it was basically jet blue in color and it had a lot of compartments in it. And there was this small little pocket where I used to, keep my belongings, in the sense the money that I used to get from my parents for my canteens. I used to always keep money in that particular pocket. See, you're creating a small little storyline.
Okay. I'm getting.
Yeah, you have, see, in IELTS, generally we don't talk like that. Nobody would end up asking you questions like that. But in IELTS, examiner will try to understand your level of, expression, and they'll ask you basic questions. So if they say like bags, they'll ask you 5, 6 questions related to bags. Now they might even ask you like, okay, fine, let's talk about fishing, right? So they'll ask you a question like, if it is fishing or if it is about fishes, they'll ask you 5 to 6 questions related to fishing or fishes. So let me ask you one question. Have you seen a lot of fishes recently?
Yes, ma'am. Uh, from my hometown, there is a dam. There I saw. There I will see on Sunday. Lots of fishes were fishing on the
Mhm.
dam.
Right. So it is like past tense. So you have to be very clear that you're talking or you're giving your answer has to become, your answer should be in past tense. You mentioned your answer had grammatical error and you were talking about future tense. So you have to be very clear with your answer. The question is, have you seen a lot of fishes recently? You'll say, of course, yes. You'll say, oh yes, I want to tell you that a couple of weeks back or last week I had been to this dam and I saw lot of fishes, and they were like the small fishes and the big fishes, and they were in different shades. That's it. It's not important that you have to have complete knowledge about what kind of fishes were there. So you just have to create an answer, right? Okay, the next question, do you like to eat fish?
Definitely not because it. I don't like have allergic, so I don't like to eat fish. I
You
eat
you haven't
chicken.
eaten chicken. Okay, fine. So if the examiner will ask you this question, do you like to have fish? So you'll say, no, not at all. I don't like having fish. Or you can say, unfortunately, I have never ever developed the taste for eating fish because I'm allergic to it. I tried it once, but I realized that I'm allergic to it. I'm aware of the fact that fish is very important for the body, in the sense that it is a lean meat and it has protein. It's high in protein and it does have omega 3, which is very important for the body, but I don't like having it. See, you are expressing yourself that I don't like having it because I'm allergic to it, but I'm aware of the fact that it has, health benefits. It does have the nutritional factor like the protein or the omega 3. It's rich in omega 3. See how beautifully I'm giving the answer. I said no, but then along with that, I very smartly mentioned about the, advantage of having fish. So you can always give answers like that,
Oh,
right? Do you like fishing?
Yeah, I like fish, but I don't know swim, so I don't go to fishing.
Okay. So the question is, do you like fishing? You said no, not at all. I don't like fishing because I've never tried, and I don't have passion also towards this kind of activity. However, I like walking rather than going for fishing. Getting my
Okay,
point? So it's not
yeah,
important that you have to say yes. You can always say no to it, but mention that any other activity that you like doing.
okay.
Right? At least you'll have something to say. You'll have content to express yourself. And when you give your answers like this, the examiner will get an opportunity to, give you better bands and understand your level of English. Okay.
Okay.
How, otherwise, like, you're doing your self study, you're
Yeah, no,
studying
ma'am.
by yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Last week only I got my finished my another course which I had in online.
Another course for IELTS.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, you were taking online coaching. So when you were taking this online coaching, they never told you that your answer has to have content, and then you have to be very careful as far as your tenses are concerned and vocabulary.
Yeah, they are not told that much of, ma'am.
Okay, okay. See, what I understand, dear, as far as your language is concerned, you understand the language. Okay, all the question that I asked you, you were very clear. Okay, fine, I this is what the question is. The problem is that when you're giving your answers, first there is a problem with tenses, which you have to be very careful. Secondly, your answers should have content in the sense, like, it should be around like 3 lines or 4 lines. Your answer again has to be very, very natural, like, as you mentioned about, like, for example, if you're talking about that you don't like having fish, so you can always say, like, for example, I had fish last time, or I had fish for the very first time couple of years back, and I had a skin reaction, and then I realized that I'm allergic to fish. You need to create story to express yourself. It can be true, it can be made up, that's absolutely okay.
Yeah.
Right. And in your answers, again, like, the in the first part, the examiner will ask about, I'll tell you what exactly happens in the first part. They're going to ask your name, they're going to ask you where you live, then they're going to ask you maybe, like, let's talk about shoes. They'll ask you 5 questions related to shoes. Then they'll say, okay, let's talk about fishing. 2 3 questions related to fishing. Then they said, okay, let's talk about clothes. So why they are asking you so many questions related to different topics? Because they want to understand, how you express and the kind of vocab. Say for clothes, if they ask you any question, are you using the term fabric? I like this particular fabric because it's very comfortable, something like that. So you need to practice a lot. You need to know that what kind of questions examiner might ask. So when we prepare you, we'll prepare you in the sense like 80 to 90% the whatever we are doing in the class with you, you'll definitely get questions like that. But you never know, you might get new questions. So we need to prepare the students in such a manner that, even if you get anything new, maybe a new topic, you should be confident enough to very smartly express yourself without any hesitation, right? And you just have 15 to 20 minutes. Your part one, part two, and part three. You just have 15 to 20 minutes, I repeat, to tell the examiner that I am a student worth 7 plus bands. So there, what you need to do is you also need to give connectors when you're giving your answers, like, do you like having fish? No, not at all. I don't like having fish. Firstly, I'm allergic to it. You give your reason, why you're allergic to it. Moreover, I don't like the taste of it, the texture of it in my mouth, or I don't like the smell of it, or I don't like the look of it. So, firstly, is this reason. Moreover, so when you use the term moreover, you're very smartly telling the examiner that yes, I know connectors. Moreover is what? When you're connecting with the first point to the second point, So your entire speaking has to be so smartly designed by you that you give all the flavors, because examiner would mark you first understanding the question. When you're giving your answer, it should be relevant to the question. Then they'll be understanding your tenses, which is completely grammar based, be it present tense, past tense and future tense. Then again, they'll be asking about, maybe say, for example, they'll be giving you a cue card, right? And in cue cue card, they'll understand whether you're in a good position to express yourself continuously for 2 minutes, right? So I'm going to give you a cue